My name is Kenny Horn. I am from the Thursday Buzz. I am excited to be here for the final buzz. And from our Monday show, we have.
Katrina
I'll pass the
Guy.
tone. Oh,
Well, we're both from the Monday show.
Yes,
very
that's
true.
that's Kyle and Katrina both here from the Monday Buzz, and then also Matt, who's also
I'm also on the Monday show. I'm Matt
I
Boucher.
swear we're much more coordinated on Mondays.
but
It's great.
Matt. Also on Wednesdays, we have another contributor here today,
Hi, I'm Anandaji.
and from the Friday Buzz,
Yes, I'm Jake Getz. I'm the co-host on Fridays.
it's good to have you guys all here on a lovely Saturday morning. Thank you for joining. I know it's early, but I think we're going to have a lot of fun. We got a lot of great stories to touch on in the next 2 hours because the buzz today is 2 hours. If you didn't know that already, 8 to 10. So if you have something coming on today, like be sure if you're interested to tune back in later.
Man, I was gonna say that this is kind of like the end of Avengers, where all of them are coming
Yeah.
together.
Yeah, and it's like like double the length.
Double the leg. Well, it's funny, Matt, you say that too, because before the pandemic, we actually were a full 2-hour show. It's just because of the pandemic, we actually brought it down to an hour. So that's your
Wow.
fun fact of the day here for Vinylthon 2021. That's a little fun fact. But before we kick into any of our stories today, I'm going to throw it over to our newscaster, Patrina, who's going to start off the newscast for today. Patrina?
All right, thank you, Amanda. So, in local news, according to CNBC, a tiny deli in New Jersey is making a total of $35,748 in sales for the last 2 years combined. The Paulsboro in the New Jersey-based hometown deli is valued at $100 in the stock market. Last year, the deli stock market rose from $3.25 a share to $9.25 a share and was last traded for $14 a share. The hometown has reported a total of $600,000 in expensive from the last year, which was a huge jump from their expenses in 2019 being $154,000. Thanks to selling stocks in 2020, the company has made a net gain cash of $2.2 million. In New Jersey news, according to Politico.com, Governor Phil Murphy began his third major push for new gun control laws in New Jersey. Governor Phil Murphy commented on the measures in New Jersey by saying that, quote, perhaps the most sweeping gun violence prevention package in the nation, end of quote. At a conference in Newark, Murphy revealed his proposals, and Murphy's package has hit 3 different parts, which was passed by the Assembly but not the Senate. And in national news, according to the New York Times, the global death toll to COVID-19 has almost reached 3 million since the pandemic first started 14 months ago. As of right now, the death toll stands at 2,990,993, while the number of confirmed cases has risen to nearly 140 million. September 28th, 2020 is when we reached 1 million COVID deaths, and February 21st is when we hit 2 million deaths, which was recorded. The US, Brazil, and Mexico are the countries with the most COVID deaths. And I'm going to throw it to Kenny.
Yes, that was a fantastic newscast, Patrina. It's nice to get to hear you do it because I've never actually heard you do it, which is
Yeah, I would say
Wow.
this is the fun part about doing like a buzz with multiple people from different days of the week. We actually get to hear what other people have to say on certain matters and just like hearing their voice on a different day than their own. So this is exciting.
It's great
But
to
what's
be
also
here.
exciting is on this Saturday, we also have our 2-minute warning, of course. Matt, what's going on in the sports world?
I'm Matt Boucher, and here's your 2-minute warning. In Montclair State sports yesterday, the baseball team beat Rutgers Newark 12-2. Montclair also getting multiple wins at the outdoor track and field meet from the Stockton Invite. Today, the baseball team will get another look at Rutgers Camden in today's doubleheader. Men's lacrosse will take on Bryn Athen. The softball team looks to take down TCNJ in a doubleheader, and women's lacrosse will be playing Stockton University. Hope you got all of that. In professional sports, in the MLB, young star shortstop for the San Diego Padres, Fernando Tatis, was activated off the 10-day injured list yesterday and came back without missing a beat, hitting a home run against the Dodgers. Yesterday, the Yankees lost to the Tampa Bay Rays 8-5 and fall to 5-8 on the season. Well, yesterday, yet another Mets game was postponed. This time, it wasn't because of COVID. It wasn't because of the rain, but it was actually because of snow in Colorado. The Yankees get another shot at the race today, and the Mets are aiming to play a doubleheader, weather permitting. In the NBA, yesterday, the Nets beat the Hornets 130 to 115, with Kevin Durant and Joe Harris combining for 51 points. And the Knicks beat the Mavericks 117 to 109 in the game where Julius Randle dropped 44 points. The next game for the Nets will be tomorrow against the Heat, while the Knicks play tomorrow against the Pelicans. In the NHL today, the Devils will be taking on the Rangers. The Rangers won the last 2 matchups between the two, so it'll be interesting to see what happens today. And today, in sports history, in 1947, Jackie Robinson bunted for his first major league hit. And just a few days ago, it was nice to see we had Jackie Robinson Day in the MLB, so all players honored Jackie by wearing number 42 to just give him praise. I'll send it back to you guys now.
Thank you, Matt, for that lovely sports cast. But for the rest of the day, I know we hit some hard news in our newscast and such today. Kenny and I thought it'd be fun to do a little more lighter news on a Saturday, especially during Vinylthon today. A little more lighter news, fun news, because I know sometimes the hard news could be a lot. So looking down at our first story here, I think Kyle threw in an interesting one to start off the show. Kyle, you want to tell us what's going on with Daft Punk?
That was actually me.
Oh, sorry. I saw a K name and I was like, oh, it's Kyle that threw this in. No, Kenny, talk about it then.
Yeah, funnily enough, I've actually never heard Daft Punk. You guys can make fun of me later.
So, wait, you've never heard Get Lucky? You've heard Get Lucky.
You know
I
Get
said
Lucky.
you guys can make fun of me later.
No, like I'm. It's not that I'm making fun of you.
Okay, so
like,
now I'm upset I didn't bring my my Get Lucky on vinyl, because in breaks today we will be playing some vinyl for the buzz out there.
But I
now
feel
I'm
like
upset.
I do think we should cover this though, because it's one thing to not be into Daft Punk, but to never have heard a song by them.
Yeah, like, have you never gone anywhere? You know. Like,
No,
I feel like there was a period, I don't know when the music came out, I don't keep up with it, but I don't know, when Get Lucky came out, that was everywhere. Like, if you went to I can't even, it was everywhere. How'd you not hear it?
Yeah, I have no idea what that is. All right, so for the story, it was just released information that a rare Daft Punk vinyl called Discovery sold for $2,380. That's a lot of money. So back in February, when the news broke of their disbanding, after 28 years after being together, the sales for their music increased by nearly 2,700%. And this included that rare album. It is one of the most expensive records sold on Discogs, which is a record selling website. Back in February, it appeared alongside albums from Led Zeppelin, Motorhead, Pink Floyd, and more. The most expensive piece of vinyl sold by Discogs that day was the album that month. It was the album New Horizons by the jazz group The Sounds of Liberation, which sold for exactly $7,777. So, okay, back to Daft Punk talk.
Yeah.
Why? I don't get it. What's the big deal?
Okay. Well, I have a lot of questions about the record, because I'm wondering is this I don't know, is this a record for one of their albums that is that got published, and I don't know, there's something special about the record, or the records, the songs aren't released digitally?
Okay, one of those.
Yeah.
Well,
because normally
it's decorated with unique artwork, and it has and they're cosmic characters, which is another thing I don't get about Daft Punk. They're cosmic characters that appear in the music videos that accompanied Discovery.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so it's a rare pressing. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah, and Daft Punk did recently break up, as the thing noted. So I guess all their stuff is just going up in value, which is good for them.
I didn't know they've been a thing for 30 years.
Oh yeah, they're old. I know that was, they did the Faster, Better, Stronger stuff, and that's early 2000s, right?
I don't know what that is either.
But I don't know. I forget the song, but I know it was big in the early 2000s.
I forget the order of like the lyrics, but I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah.
At least I'm pretty sure I do. Daft Punk isn't usually my like main source of music.
I feel like I need to play some Daft Punk for Kenny now. Like,
no.
I feel like, I mean, I'm not like a huge Daft Punk fan either, but like I know Daft Punk. Like, come on.
Yeah.
No, like I don't know most of their songs. Like I don't think I've ever listened to like an album like all the way through. I don't even think I've ever like listened to them on like a streaming platform.
I have them all pulled up in our next gen right now to see if we want to play like a little snippet for Kenny. Should we play a little snippet?
Honestly, let's go.
All right.
Vinylthon.
There you go. We'll only play a little snippet though, because we are on Facebook right now, and that would.
Oh yeah.
Be good.
Walking on ice there.
We are walking on ice, so I don't know. Do we do it?
Let's do it. It's Vinylthon.
Is it really that good?
I think we get like a 10-second window before it becomes a problem.
All right, do it for exactly 9 seconds.
Oh, maybe when we go to commercial break, we will play a little bit.
Okay.
So we could be a little safe for that. But I don't know. Like, I think I'm more blown away. And I forget about the vinyl for a second, and that like it sells for that amount. I'm more concerned that Kenny hasn't even heard like 2 seconds of a Daft Punk song.
I have no clue what it is. Patrina, Daji, either of you, Daft Punk
Matt,
people?
you too.
I've definitely heard of a Daft Punk. I mean, I'm not like I don't think they're like unknown to me, but I mean, I've heard at least one song.
Oh.
I actually love Daft Punk because I like that type of music, but ironically, the Wii, they used to have Just Dance. There was like multiple dances with Daft Punk.
Oh, yeah.
So
have you ever played Just Dance?
That's funny.
Yeah, have you played Just Dance?
Me? I cannot dance for the life of me.
Come on. But yeah, but Just
Neither
Dance
can
tells you
I.
how to do it.
That's like the point of the game. It's to dance.
You have to dance.
But
Dance
it's
in
so
front of
much
your
movement.
TV with like the Wii controller in your hand, being like, yay!
Have you ever seen somebody play Just Dance? It cannot be described as dancing.
Penny, I can't dance, and I still hold the record for Billie Jean on my family.
Why play Just Dance when you can play like something better? I don't know.
I'm one of the people that take Just Dance way too seriously.
You gotta do Just Dance, and then you got like Dance Dance Revolution or something, or like, but if that's like way past your speed, there's always like Wii Fit, and that's how you could also exercise in front of you.
Yeah.
Do your little exercise in front of your video game. I feel like that was like what video game companies were like. We're getting told people need to go outside more and exercise. All right, here we go. Here's Just Dance.
So let's keep them
Wii
inside.
Literally.
Wait,
but
Just Dance.
I mean, if we're going back to looking at this vinyl, I mean, I think it's kind of cool that like, I mean, they just kind of disbanded. So I think this is kind of cool that like you can get this record, but I don't know if I'd buy it unless there was something really cool about it. I don't know about you guys.
Maybe. It has a unique artwork on it.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's a lot of my records are already expensive, you know?
Yeah, I don't know if I can
like,
cough that up very easily.
It's kind of crazy, especially for like Daft Punk, because I feel like, I don't know, does anybody like love Daft Punk? I don't know. I don't want to.
I don't know. You might be offending Daji right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
There was one guy in high school.
I would never pay that amount though. That's too high.
Like you could like them, but like, well, I'm not saying you could feel however you want about it, but I feel like most people like, I don't know, enjoy them, but it's I don't think many people stand Daft Punk, you know?
I think if you're gonna throw that much at an album, it's gotta be an album that you like cover to cover. And I mean like cover to cover.
Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, a lot of people like albums for artwork, and I could say I like artwork too on albums, but like,
that's true.
I'm not gonna just buy it because like, oh, this is kind of cool artwork, and I like know one song on here, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but also like
this person could be a collector.
I'm looking at the cover of the record.
Jacob, do you have the cover up? Because if so, we could allow anybody that's watching on Facebook.
Oh God, I could try.
You can get screen share permissions on there.
Yeah, and like I don't know, it says the host is disabled, but it's nothing special in my opinion.
Let's see it.
So I can't see the actual vinyl. It's just the.
I'm sure the the actual vinyl itself isn't. Yeah, well, people are getting more fancy with that.
Yeah,
for
this is what it
anybody
looks like. It's just like an anime.
Wait, that's actually what it looks like?
Yeah, this is
I thought
it.
that was
Daft
an
Punk
ad.
Discovery. No, this is it.
Oh, yeah,
It's
there's
just
nothing really
an anime
special about
screenshot.
that.
I don't know what anime this is. I'm not a weeb.
It's very different than, you know, how the actual album cover looks.
Yeah, apparently there's the back. It's
That was
blue
an
people.
ad.
Some Smurfs. Yeah, so somebody paid $2,000 for this.
I didn't expect that to be what it was, like the
Yeah.
artwork.
I guess some people are into that.
I guess I just thought it was gonna be something like really artsy as the cover, and like I mean like that's something I could just screenshot off my phone, and that's where I would say with that. I mean,
it really doesn't fit their aesthetic.
That's
what
I'm
I'm
like
getting
robot people. Like, I don't know. We could think it'd be like robots or something.
Okay, but let's so we could wrap up the story. Let's take a final poll. Would you, if you had the money just laying around, you weren't really doing anything with it, would you buy the record? I personally would not.
Not this one. Maybe if it was like a band that I truly loved. And also another big thing I have to say here is maybe if it was a smaller band. Daft Punk has enough money. You know, if it's like a band that like is a small record, they're just touring, they're just trying to vibe. I would, and I really love the record, and they had something special about it. Maybe I'd throw
the unfortunate
that
thing
kind
is,
of money
I don't
if
think
I had it.
I don't think a local band would actually even sell it for that much, which is kind of sad.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Known. I think it's only going for that price because it's Daft Punk, if that makes any sense. But everybody else, Kyle, Patrina, Daji, Kenny, Matt, what do you think? Are you buying this record?
Personally, no, but I will say I do like the general aesthetic of the art. It's got a very 90s or 80s anime style to it, which is very different from what you see today. Personally, I wouldn't buy it because I don't think just the artwork is enough to justify that purchase. Like Jake said, if it was like a band I knew more about, then I might be up for consideration.
Fair. So wait, Kyle, because we know you're a Shinedown fan. If it was a Shinedown record, you buying it?
I mean, I think that's out of the question. It's a definite yes.
Patrina, Daji?
Yeah, well, I would not buy it for $2,000, especially if I only listened to the band once, like Kyle said. I mean, I'm not like I wouldn't buy it for the artwork. I would buy it for like the music that I like. So if it was like somebody that I liked, then yeah, I would maybe. But
fair.
Depends.
Yeah, no, I would not buy it. That's too expensive. And honestly, the artwork, I feel like I'm sorry, I feel like somebody else could do it, or like I could even do it. Like it doesn't it's not rocket science. Like I would not pay that amount just for that. And yeah, like Kyle was saying, same thing as Patrina as well. Like only if I extremely love them, will I get, the vinyl, but no.
All right.
I think that's fair. Kenny?
All right. Listen.
Okay. So you want to
If you just had the money lying around, okay, like it's not going to affect you. Why not?
But when is money going to be lying around? I mean, I don't know.
Oh, it's never going
for
to
you.
That's the situation.
It's a hypothetical.
This is the hypothetical. Why not?
You could buy 2 better records.
Yeah.
Instead.
I actually
or like maybe even 3 if we're talking $2,000.
I mean, I can give one reason why I wouldn't buy this now, looking at the art again. And now, I am an artist, and I don't mean to discredit anybody, but if you look at the album art, the guy's arm looks a little noodly, almost like it's lacking bones, so it's kind of throwing me off now.
Kyle's bringing that art background in.
Wrecked.
He's like, I don't know.
But it's looking a little noodly.
Full disclaimer, I cannot draw hands or arms either, so I have no right to discredit anyone.
Yeah, the other guy has a good hand.
You know what? I'll take it because I draw stick people, so you know what? It's okay. If you could draw, there you go. But I think we've all agreed basically at this point. I don't know, Matt, are you still here with us? Do you have?
Yeah, I'm here. I don't have any feelings about Daft Punk, so I probably would not buy it.
Alrighty. So I think we've all decided we would not buy it except Kenny.
It's
if
ironic.
he has money lying around, he'll just buy it.
Yeah, for the meme. Do it for the meme.
But you know what? I'm sure there's somebody out there that besides Kenny that also really would like to buy it, and there you go.
It's ironic that I'm the one that says yes.
Yeah, right. You never even heard
Kenny would be
them.
like,
Well,
Kenny would
that's
be
'cause
like,
he's
I
never
got
heard
this
Daft
album
Punk."
from this indie band called Daft Punk. You probably never heard of them.
But anyway, let's move on from our vinyl story to kick off the vinyl buzz today here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, New Jersey. So, next story we got here for y'all today. This was one I found, and it freaked me out a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. What are your guys' thoughts on snakes?
No.
I think snakes are cool, but I wouldn't want to get too close to one unless I knew it wasn't like gonna bite me.
I think they're the scariest creature you can come across. You don't know what they can do.
Next to spiders.
Wait, yeah, I was gonna say, have you like what about tarantulas?
Spiders for me, no. I don't really care about spiders that much, depending on the size, but snakes are a no for me.
How many tarantulas have you come across that you're like?
I don't know, but they still exist. They're out there.
When a spider has hair, it's a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like hate that.
Okay, so me personally, I agree with Katrina. Like, snakes are really scary. I also don't like sharks and alligators, but that's a story for another day. But anyway, so according to AP News, a Sydney man, so Sydney, Australia, finds a snake in lettuce bought at the supermarket. So Alex White thought he was watching a huge worm withering in a plastic wrapped lettuce he just brought home from a Sydney supermarket until a snake tongue flicked. He's like, I completely freaked out. I saw this little tongue come out of his mouth and start flicking around and realizing it was a snake because worms don't have tongues, White said on Thursday. He said it was a venomous, pale-headed snake that authorities say made an 70 kilometer journey to Sydney from a packing plant in the Australian city of, I'm going to butcher this name, Toowoomba, wrapped in plastic with 2 heads of cos lettuce.
Oh man, that's pretty crazy.
I was gonna say, how did it survive that whole time? I was like, oh wait, it had food with it.
Yeah, it had lettuce.
Yeah, it had lettuce. It was just chilling on that, but like,
That's
I don't know. I work at a supermarket, and I know if I like was just putting out the lettuce and I saw a snake, I would be like running for the hills. I'd be like, peace.
I gotta say, it is in a bag. So it's like it won't hurt you.
I'm wondering how he survived in there. I mean, I know you said he's eating the lettuce, but like, he's like I was thinking the plastic would low key like suffocate him.
I'm pretty sure lettuce packaging has little holes in it.
Oh, true.
Oh yeah, probably does.
I don't know. He looks a little scary. I'm not a fan.
A little?
When he bought the lettuce, he thought it was a worm at first. He bought it thinking there was a worm in it.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Oh, well, there's a worm. It's cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Still gonna buy it? Wouldn't you want to like trade that out?
Yeah.
Oh, cool little 2-foot worm. That's unique.
That might add an interesting zest to the lettuce.
And this is why I will never move to Australia.
For anyone
I want to go to Australia.
For anyone that's tuning in on Facebook, there is a picture in AP News, and here is the snake. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube later, it's for anyone that's just listening though, it's just a snake that's like literally in the lettuce. But like I said earlier, it looks like it's like suffocating him. So my question is like how? But apparently Kenny's pretty sure that like lettuce has that little holes to poke out, and maybe that's how he was breathing. But I don't know. That definitely does not look like a worm to me. I don't know about you guys, but
Hey, there are some weird worms out there.
I don't know.
And once again, this is Australia, so anything's possible.
But
that is very true.
I think Katrina brings up a good point. If you saw a worm, why are you buying it still? Like, I wouldn't buy it.
Exactly.
Well,
protein.
It says in the article that he thought it was a worm on the plastic wrapped lettuce he just brought home. So maybe he didn't notice it until then.
It's low in calorie.
It's protein.
Yeah.
Low in calories. Those worms.
Gotta get protein where you can.
Exactly.
When you thought, Amanda, that this snake was suffocating, I think snakes can like survive in like closed spaces because I know they do need like warmth and stuff. Like, so I mean, I saw a video of somebody actually purchasing a snake, and so it came in like a big box with styrofoam layered on it, and then it came in like a little plastic container with like I think like some sort of confetti stuff in there. And like so I was like, "Oh wow, it's like literally in a little container where you put salad or something." But I'm just guessing that like snakes can survive in like little spaces, you know?
Also, can't they survive like without their head? Is that something,
That's
or is that
I think
wrong?
that's is that like a lizard? Lizards can't survive without their tails or something. Like they grow them back or something like that.
Chickens.
Without their
And-
heads?
Yeah. Chickens can survive for
I did not know
months
that.
without their head.
Really?
Yeah, extremely long time. What do you think he kept the snake?
No.
I do want to add, not about the keeping the snake thing, because they did call like an animal handler, like a rescue organization, obviously to get the snake out of the guy's house. But I do want to note too that this wasn't an Aldi. So this is a supermarket chain we all know,
Oh boy.
by the way. And this man just wanted to go home, make a salad after he got his lettuce at Aldi, and he came home to a snake.
See, this is why I don't eat salad.
Yeah.
It's
It's too
the
dangerous.
exact reason why.
I feel like people that like snakes are like a different type of cool. Like one of my friends, she has a snake, and she like talks about the snake like it's a dog or a cat. It's like it's bizarre to me. So if the guy took the snake home and he's just like happy with it, he either killed it, ate it, or it might be possible he's trying to sue Aldi's or something.
Yeah, fry up the
That's
snake.
true.
Yeah, you could do it.
Yeah, I
Eat it
know.
up like spaghetti.
I know personally.
Apparently, it's more like chicken nuggets. Like the way it pans out, you cut it up and you fry them, and like I don't know.
Oh.
Wait, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I know personally, I would Kenny was saying the whole thing. This is why I don't eat salads. I personally probably would never eat a salad again if I saw a snake probably in my salad.
Oh yeah, the
I've
trauma.
never eaten a salad in general. So.
But and another important thing to note in this article too. It does say that I did mention that the snake was venomous. So if this guy got bit, he had to go to the hospital real fast.
That would have looked so bad for all these.
Public relations disaster right there.
You know, my parents, when were the town that they were growing up, it's Kearney in New Jersey. There's this guy around their age who he was called Snake Man because he owned like 24 snakes.
Oh man,
That's
that's crazy.
And police would get involved because you're technically not allowed to own that many snakes or something in that city. It's a whole big thing. But
Wow.
Snake Man.
Yeah.
I could never sleep at night knowing there's a snake in my house.
See, I think he thrived upon that.
No, would not work for me. I would not be able to have a snake as a pet. Nope.
What if it was like
Wait,
a non-venomous one?
Nope.
No, it sounds
No.
kind of cool, especially if
gonna-
it's like a big one. That's all like
It's
I
gonna
don't
kill.
know. I could have a snake as a pet.
I would never do it, but
Maybe if I can't like
go ahead.
I don't know, like maybe if like I feel like the rules on like dogs and cats might be a bit like more restricted in some like I don't know apartments or something, but like a snake, like what's a snake gonna do? What's a snake gonna mess up? They don't have arms, so like they're not gonna break anything.
okay. But when was the last time you heard a cat kill somebody?
Are
we counting tigers or not?
No.
I guess not. I don't know. I don't think the snake would kill me if I like.
If it
I don't know.
wasn't
I don't think
venomous.
I'd get a snake that could kill me.
You know,
I don't know.
I've always had the fear of a snake when they're so long, wrapping around my neck and just choking me. That was always like a fear of mine.
I saw
I don't
a
know.
thing-
Are they that strong?
I don't
Maybe
know.
some of them are.
I mean,
but like
Other
I don't
ones you
think
just wear
any
as a scarf and it's
at
okay.
one.
Wouldn't you see it coming?
Not if you're asleep.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Or
I saw.
oblivious.
I think it was a thing on
Have
like
you-
Tumblr years ago or something like that. It was, I know Tumblr. I feel like I'm like dating myself now. But there was a thing that this woman was like, "Oh, my snake's not eating," but like it would cuddle up next to her at night, and it was literally sizing her up to eat. Like, and they found out like she brought the snake to the vet, and it was like, "This is what the snake's trying to do." Like, no, that's not cool. And why are you letting it out of the cage at night? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
Okay,
I would be
as a pet
so
thing.
like emotionally wounded if that happened to me.
Right?
If like my snake is trying to eat me, and like he's planning it too, like
You could write a book
actively
about
plan
that.
it. Like I don't know. I'd send it back to like the shelter or something, just
That's
out
nice
of
Goosebumps
spite.
See, and there you go. And that's why I wouldn't have a snake, period, because then I wouldn't have to send it back. I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Send
good
it
with my
back to
cats.
Florida, where it most likely came from.
Hmm.
Well,
Well,
with the gators and all, the gators and all hang out together.
Yeah.
Florida's America's
Do
best.
alligators eat snakes? I would assume so, right?
I mean, somebody has to.
I
Somebody-
think they enjoy a good pasta dish from time to time.
Oh my goodness. And with that, we're going to take a quick break here on 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, New Jersey. If you're interested in staying tuned, we'll be back with more news and vinyl coming up. Hello, we are back here at 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, New Jersey. If you are tuned in right now, you are listening to the Saturday Buzz, which sounds so weird, but it is Vinylthon 2021. So excited to be here very early on a Saturday morning with some friends from the week, Kenny, Kyle, Jake, Patrina, Daji, and of course we had Matt that joined us earlier. And right now, if you were just listening on the radio waves, we were just playing some Led Zeppelin 4 Sticks off of Led Zeppelin 4. I have my whole vinyl, or part of my vinyl collection here today, so I'm hoping to spin some more songs throughout the rest of the day. Obviously, if you're tuned in for the Buzz, there's other programming that happens the rest of the day today. For more information on that, if you're interested, it's all posted on our social media pages on what shows you can catch throughout the rest of the day. I know I'll be spinning from 3 to 5 p.m. today, some rock, maybe some theater, all that kind of stuff. So, and I will also be joined by the old Morning Buzz producer from last semester, Ryan Trick, and he will also maybe be joining us later in the Buzz today. But for right now, what do we have going on next? Who has the next story here?
I've got the next story. So the last one is about animals. So let's take it back to animals for this one. So a woman in Krakow, Poland, she called animal welfare to find out that there's this animal stuck in a tree for 2 days, and the residents in the area were afraid to open their windows because they were worried it'd go into their house. So animal rescuers, they come over to Krakow, and they look in, and they go to the report of the dangerous looking creature, the dangerous beast, and they find out it was a croissant. That's all. How does that happen?
I love odd news.
How does that happen?
I don't know. Croissants, they could be hit or miss.
It was
You know?
there for 2 days.
Oh, well, if it's 2 day old, they definitely a miss.
Well, that's not my point. That's not my point.
Honestly, I've like seen a garbage bag in the form of like a raccoon in the night, you know, so I can see how they misunderstood
But that's
a
not
croissant.
What kind
as
of
dark as it is. It's a croissant. It was there for 2 days. Nobody noticed it.
I'm just
So they noticed it.
Yeah,
Not
good
correctly.
point. Good point.
Yeah.
No, they're afraid it's gonna, I don't know, give them a yeast infection or something. Is that how that works?
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe you saw it from far away and it's hard to tell.
Maybe.
You know, like in the forest, you see something unfamiliar. And also, wait, hold up.
When was the last
What's a
time you went to
croissant
the
doing in a
forest?
tree in the forest? Like,
No, this isn't in the forest. This is in
Oh.
a city.
Someone just got a little hungry. Is that too hard?
somebody like
Well, they
throw their
missed their
croissant out a
mouth by a
window?
long shot.
Like, did they just like quarterback throw this like croissant? Like, why?
They guessed that somebody wanted to feed the birds. They just threw a whole
So they
croissant.
threw a whole croissant.
I'm
Full
guessing.
croissant.
I'm really guessing that someone really wanted a muffin, and then someone handed them a croissant, so they just threw
And he
it.
got so mad.
Oh, this croissant.
They were just like, "Are you kidding me? What do I look like to you?"
I mean, if they wanted to feed the birds, I feel like
They could
there's an
rip off a
invention
piece.
or that, or like
Oh,
there's
yeah,
something
bird.
that exists for that purpose specifically. I
Snake
forget
lettuce.
exactly what it's called. It's like a bird food dispenser or something. I'm drawing a blank here,
I
but
thought you were talking about like snake lettuce.
no, I was talking about
Yeah.
a bird feeder.
Feed birds with snake lettuce. I'm sure that's very nutritional.
It's
I just want to know what kind of animal they've mistaken it for. Like, What animal would pop to mind that would be like, oh, that's an animal. I should be concerned.
Here's the thing: it's a croissant. That means it doesn't move. It was in the exact same spot.
Maybe they thought it was like a really big snail.
Or maybe it did move, and that's why everybody was so concerned.
How would a croissant move, Kyle? The wind?
I don't know. Wind?
I mean, it was in a tree, so I wouldn't put it out of the way. But like,
no.
Okay.
Oh, my bad. I was gonna say, how about the squirrels? Like,
Squirrel.
yeah.
What kind of squirrels
where
you
were the
looking at?
squirrels? I just know squirrels go up trees, so I'm wondering why they didn't take the croissant.
Yeah.
That's true. I thought you meant they mistook it for a squirrel.
Yeah, my squirrels in my neck of the woods always love going for the croissants, but they're also fans of the muffin and the bagel. So I don't know. It's whatever gets offered to them, I guess, though.
Well, I don't get it. I'm baffled. How, first of all, does it get there? And second of all,
probably
how does nobody take notice that it is not an animal? It's a croissant. It doesn't move.
Okay, so personally, I cannot make out an animal from this. But then again, I read the article and it said croissant, so I knew what to expect. And I think that's my
picture. Wait, hold up. That looks terrifying.
Jake,
that looks
insane. When you pull that up?
I believe so.
You got it?
I think so. You see it?
Come on, that looks like a tapeworm or like something. That looks
I will admit,
terrifying.
It does look weird, but here's the thing.
I could see it as more of like a nest than an actual animal.
Okay.
Or like some sort of weird growth that happens in nature.
Here's the thing, though. It didn't move for 2 days, and nobody got the idea to like actually like look into it.
I mean, also like even if it was an animal, let's take it for if it was an animal or something. Like, it's dead then. Like, just take the hint.
Yeah. And how's that thing gonna jump to a window? It doesn't have legs.
Yeah. I'm assuming somebody was just saving it for later.
Is Poland cold this time of year? Maybe it's refrigeration.
But how is it stuck there? Like, it's even in a vertical position.
It looks like it's like lodged in the trees, branches.
I'm telling
you. That's even more interesting. Like, who put it there?
I'm telling you, someone was mad they didn't get their muffin, their chocolate chip muffin, and they threw it out the window. And they're like, I don't want a chocolate chip croissant.
But are you really going to pass up a free pastry, even if it's not top of your list?
I mean, croissants are very different than other pastries, though.
Very true.
If you're not into that, I mean, like.
Personally, I wouldn't waste a croissant like that. You know?
What is this conversation?
You don't have a neighbor that you can give it to. I mean, I wouldn't do that because neighbors are weird, but like,
yeah,
cousin you can call up.
I've got nothing. I have no idea. What
Moral of the story: don't waste croissants. There are a finite amount of croissants in the world. We need to preserve them.
Right.
We do.
But
we do.
Speaking of pastries, I have a much weirder place to find a pastry than in a tree.
How does this relate at all? Like, this is the weirdest.
Oh, just you wait.
You think finding a croissant in a tree is weird? What if you found a donut in a funeral home with a body in it? Yes. So in New Zealand,
I hated every little bit of that. Every little bit.
Glad I'm happy to disappoint. But so this man Ross Hall's cousin recently passed away, and during the ceremony, instead of bringing him in a normal wooden casket or coffin, they brought him in a coffin shaped like a cream-filled donut. Except
is that what this is supposed to be? We have a picture.
Yes. Do one of you want to share that?
Yeah, I could share it.
Okay.
It looks more like a hot dog.
Yeah, the shape was
spaghetti.
a little off to me, but looking at it, I could see, it is in fact a donut. But this is a business that this man, Ross Hall, has that he's been working on for 15 years, where he makes more uniquely
awesome.
or unconventionally designed coffins. Other examples would be a fire truck, sailboat, stuff like that. And the idea came to him when he was thinking about his own death, specifically how he wanted to go out. And he said he wanted to go out in a unique way. So he, quote, so I would put in my will that I want a box with red flames on it, end quote. Admittedly, bit of a different step between a painted box and one that looks like a donut, but I mean, that's what brought him into this idea. And 6 months after he had that initial thought, he went to funeral homes pitching this idea, and they were skeptical, but eventually they gave in, or
Do we
they
have
were
the image,
into it.
Jake?
Oh, wait, you guys don't have it?
No,
Well, I
we
thought you were
can't
sharing,
see
so
it.
I didn't know if you were sharing.
I have a question.
I thought I
There we go.
was. Oh,
Oh,
wait,
no, you're
did I
good.
not? Oh, now
That's
we're
one
here.
of those are some of them, yeah.
This
but
is
there's-
the big one. This is the one that the story is about.
Oh goodness! So for
There's-
any people that are just tuning in and listening on the airwaves, it's a coffin that's shaped in a pastry.
It's supposed to be a jelly donut. I think it looks like a hot dog.
I think so too.
But like instead of a hot dog, it's like spaghetti. It's a spaghetti hot dog, like from iCarly.
It looks like those fancy Italian pastries that are like more of like, it's not like a cannoli, but it looks like something. I don't know. Like
Yeah,
this
something of that
this looks
nature.
so wrong coming out of a hearse though, and it looks really odd.
Yeah. So this is some stuff. We got a Lego coffin. We got this cool hollow coffin, which is awesome.
Okay,
I like this.
I'm gonna take a stance on this though. This discussion. I think this is cool in a sense, but here's the other thing. How
Also,
much
there's
do
this
these?
power.
How much do these cost? Did they say that, Kyle? Because
yes.
Yeah,
Depending
let's
on what it is, they can cost anywhere between 3,000 and 3,500 New Zealand dollars, or about 2,100 to 5,400 in our currency.
okay. So my thing at this is, most people I know, the average person, when they pass, they don't typically have a ton of money to their name, and funerals are expensive. And so to me, you're going to spend a ton of money on a coffin you're going to see once. I
Yeah.
understand the idea of like, oh, if someone was really into boating, like they want to do like boating around it, or if they really like building things like Legos and stuff, like that's cool. I get it. But like to me, you're going to see it at a wake, maybe, and then it's just going to go in the ground.
Right, true.
Yeah.
I for one am 100% on board with this, but I think it's less of the being able to see it and it's more of like a psychological thing, because he also said in the article, quote, people now think it's a celebration of life rather than a mourning of death, end quote. So it's more of a make it less
Sad.
heavy, so to speak.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like, just
I guess
easier to deal with.
I guess if you take the idea of like, there's like, you know how you like, you'll go to a wake and you sometimes stick things into the coffin, like you stick like pictures or jewelry or something like that to like remember the person. Like, I guess that's kind of the same kind of thing, because you're never going to see it again. It's just going to go in the ground. It's like the premise of it, I guess, is like the idea that you kind of have like left something, personality, something that person meant a lot to that. But I don't know, I can't just see spending like that much money on it, if that makes any sense.
Here's the thing. Why not?
I mean, it's the same thing with the vinyl record earlier. You're going to spend that much on it. It's like the same price. You guys,
Who's
you want a
it gonna
coffin or you
affect?
want a vinyl record? There you go.
Who's it gonna affect?
Like, I don't know about you guys, but do you want a vinyl record or a cool coffin? I don't
Cool
know.
coffin,
I don't know. I
100%.
take the cool especially that hollow one. Oh,
Vinyl
I
record.
like
That
it.
is
Also-
actually going to look cool.
Also, as a little like, I don't know, asterisk or something, but all the coffins made are biodegradable, so they
Oh,
go
space.
with the earth. The only one that
Oh.
is not, and the only one that that Hall has gotten back was the jelly donut one from his cousin, which he said he would never throw out or give away because
Wait, so the guy's buried in a regular coffin then?
yes, he when
what's
it
the
was
point?
time
So,
for his-
yeah, I was going to say, what's the point then?
well, he's like, his cousin is the only one I think so far who has been put into a regular coffin. Like all the other ones are buried or cremated along with the bodies, but this one itself was specifically changed out.
I will say it does give a lighter mood if you're going to have a wake, I guess, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense. Like, you know how, like, there's this post that kind of goes around every few years that's like, I hope at my wake someone will come and like dress as the Grim Reaper or like play like heavy rock or something, like to just like live my legacy. I see that post every few years and I'm just like, this is so cool. And I feel like this is the way to like lighten the mood. Like, forget your tears. Let's look at my Lego coffin. Like, I don't
Yeah.
You said there was a fire truck one?
Oh yeah, wait.
Did it come
there
with
is-
sirens? Because that'd be cool.
Hold up.
So when it's coming out of the hearse, it's like
Wee. Oh,
I-
it does come with a siren.
Wait, really?
Yeah, check this out.
let's see.
Oh yeah, I see it. Oh, that's so cool.
All right, for anybody
Yeah, the
also
siren
watching
and the ladder.
Facebook and listening in, this is the fire truck. It has a little ladder on top too. It has
It's
like
got
giant
wheels too.
Just roll.
Oh my god, you could get rolled up, pull up
Actually,
to the
that makes it
cemetery.
a lot easier. You don't need pallbearers anymore. You just roll it down the aisle.
rolling up,
That's awesome.
sliding into the funeral.
Well, I for one am 100% down with this idea, and later in life, of course, am definitely
Hopefully.
gonna consider this. But I want to ask all of you, like, if you had the money lying around,
Oh, here
and-
comes the lying around question again.
if you had the choice and had the money, what would your custom one be? Like, what would your it's gonna sound weird, but ideal coffin look like?
This is
I hate
lovely.
this conversation.
Okay, so I like that hollow one.
But here's some light news on a Saturday morning. What is your coffin?
Yeah, this is
Are you doing
I don't know. I feel like
jelly donut coffin.
these
or
are
a
cool.
fire?
I like the spirit. I like the spirit of these.
Yeah.
But they're kind of garish. They're kind of toyish. Like they almost kind of look like something you'd see in a toy store. Like I don't know. I wish he took it a bit more seriously. Like, like I like the idea of maybe not being buried in something so like, like a dock and like scary. But like, I don't know, like a fire truck. I don't want to be buried in a fire truck.
I mean,
I mean, it kind
Who
of
wants to be buried in a fire truck?
I mean,
I
maybe
guess
if you're
the
a
guy
fireman.
who did.
Guy.
It
Maybe
kind of works if you
firefighter.
have a child death though, as well. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
had a kid that was like maybe a few years old and like he liked fire trucks a lot and wanted to be a
Yeah,
fire
I guess
truck
that's
back.
true.
Yeah,
but I'm
I mean,
thinking
there
about
you
me, and I've made it past that. So,
well, it doesn't mean others do.
yeah, I don't know.
But imagine they say that the parents are negligent or something if they end up getting a fire truck, like, casket for their child.
I mean,
Oh.
it's not like anybody's forcing them to do this. I'm pretty sure anybody who got a coffin like this did it of their own volition.
Oh,
Yeah, I'd hope so.
So
If somebody
I'd
gets
say
forced,
to
you
each
must
their
bear.
own.
I feel like people would be very like on the edge of it. It's either people that are really for it or people that are just like, oh no, that shouldn't be the way it is,
Right.
Why not?
There's gonna be people that are gonna
Gonna be
that will do that,
naysayers.
but
There's
wanna stick to the
traditionalists.
tradition.
I would never do it, but why not?
I would honestly either do an avocado, a taco, or I would legit like start decorating my casket or something and then be like,
Yeah.
when I die, here you go, make it customizable. Ooh, that sounds
Yeah.
better.
Just come in, put stickers on it before,
Yeah.
in advance.
I would want one shaped like an acoustic guitar with the middle open. So like when you drop your pick in there and you can't get it out, and that's where I would lay.
Are there strings too?
That's so
There would be strings going across it, yeah.
Oh my
you
god,
play
like
it?
the
Functional
Nightmare
as
Before
well.
Christmas. Oh my god.
Oh, would you want somebody to play a song with your casket?
I don't
Yes.
think I think I would mess up
Stairway
the
to Heaven.
acoustics.
That'd be so
Oh
dope.
my god, not Stairway to Heaven. I think it's better than that.
And I do want to say one more thing before we wrap this story up. While through working on this business, from his initial thought to now, Hall said he has had different ideas about how he wanted to be buried. So he's done away with the box of red flames and instead told his children that he wants to be buried in a clear glass box.
Oh, that's
Will
cool.
they go through with it? Remains to be seen.
I was actually curious about that.
Well, there's some other qualifications to his burial that he said his kids aren't going to go along with, but I don't know if I can say that on air.
Qualifications?
Is it really that bad?
What?
Well,
I know you can't talk about I don't know. I don't want to talk about it because I'm not supposed to.
I'm very wary if I can say it. It's nothing really that bad.
There's no way it can be that bad.
No, it's just like the attire, but I don't know. It's less than normal attire.
Okay, so we're gonna just wrap up in a different way then.
It's at the very end of the article if you want to read it.
Yep.
If anyone's interested, this was pulled from 8P News, so we could, if anybody wants to go back for that. But while as we are wrapping up the story, we're going to take another quick break here on 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, New Jersey. This is Vinylthon 2021. Stay tuned. And we are back. Of course, yes, it is Vinylthon 2021. This is 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, New Jersey. And if you were just listening on the airwaves, we were just playing Shine a Little Light by the Black Keys. And if you're watching on Facebook, there is the album. We are spinning vinyl during our breaks today, as well as throughout the rest of the day. But right now, this is the 2-hour-long Morning Buzz. And here we are. What do we have next, guys, coming up?
Up next, we have a newscast again from Daji.
Yes,
Daji, take it away.
An hour, so Daji.
So, good morning. My name is Daji here at 80.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and here's your newscast. A year into the pandemic has brought a spike in violence in Haiti. The AP says that there is a wave of kidnappings and deaths that are currently victimizing impoverished people because of political and socioeconomic issues within the country. Local news, a woman in California, Liliana Carrillo, admitted to killing her 3 children last weekend to save them from what she said would be a lifetime of sexual abuse. Reports from AP are that Carrillo has alleged that the father is part of a sex trafficking ring. The Californian mom claimed she wanted to protect her kids from their father amid a hostile custody battle. Carrillo has not yet been charged in the children's death, and the investigation remains ongoing. Here in Jersey, Fairleigh Dickinson joins Rutgers and several universities in requiring a full vaccination against COVID-19 before returning to campus this fall. Students must upload a copy of their vaccination card to register for fall courses. The requirement extends to all students on campus for living arrangements, class, or any other in-person activities, with the exemption of those with medical or religious reasons when warranted. Currently in the Montclair area, it is a high 45 degrees. We are currently expecting a high 57 degrees with partly cloudy skies and a low 41 degrees later tonight. This has been your newscast with Daji here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
Thank you, Daji, for that newscast. All right. We are off, and we have a story from Jake that he threw into our script today. Jake, take it away.
Hi. Okay, sorry. So, get this. Scientists have created early embryos that are part human, part monkey. So, thousands of people die every year in the United States waiting for organ transplants, right? That's bad. So, in recent years, some researchers in the US have been injecting human stem cells into sheep and pig embryos to see if they might eventually be able to grow human organs in such animals for transplants. And the pig and sheep weren't working, so they went for a monkey. And after just one day, they were able to detect human cells growing in 132 of the embryos and were able to study the embryos for up to 19 days. That enabled the scientists to learn more about how animal cells and human cells communicate, an important step towards eventually helping researchers find new ways to grow organs for transplantation in other animals. I thought this story was pretty wild.
Pretty wild. We love that.
I don't understand why they didn't try monkeys first.
Yeah, you think they would have gone for that? I don't know. Maybe there's something about pig and sheep that like make them convenient.
Well,
Like I don't know.
aren't technically, and I'm not a scientist or study science or anything, so someone please correct me if I'm wrong. Aren't we technically, like, when you look at the evolution of people, like, we're technically formed from, like, a monkey?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we are.
So this makes kind of sense.
Exactly.
Like, I wouldn't want to see a sheep or pig. Like, it would make sense that it's a monkey.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think they would have gone for that first. But I don't know. It's crazy that they're just messing around with
the
that.
biology of sheep and pigs. That's slightly
Maybe.
different. That could sustain something like this. Or maybe that's just something they've tested on before, and it's convenient. I don't know exactly. I'm in the same boat. Why wouldn't they go? Like our ancestors first. What?
Yeah.
We've got a spare pig. Let's just try that.
Yeah, I know. Let's go for it. Maybe we can grow some human organs inside of this thing.
I mean, it could have been used for a nice family dinner, but organs.
To each his own. We gotta grow the organs somewhere.
True. It's definitely good to hear that this is the monkeys have been a bit more effective or long lasting than the other two animals. But if this is a real, not real thing, but if this thing goes further and can develop more, like if we can grow organs to help people, I think this is a really good start.
No, and I
give like the long back. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think this is. I don't know. I think this is awesome for people, like you said, like with that we've been struggling. We have people on like these long transplant lists and everything to get organs and stuff, and some people never get that opportunity to get it. And so if we have monkeys that are kind of the same anatomy and work with this embryo thing, like sure, I'm here for it. I don't see anything against it.
No, of course not. But would that make you part monkey?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm thinking. Like, is this like?
If you have like the liver of like a monkey just chilling.
Yeah, I think it depends on which organ you get. That determines if you're a part monkey.
Wait, but did you guys see like the TikToks that first started coming out like about like vaccines, and then they were like, oh, I have these side effects, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna randomly start singing Dolly Parton songs because it was like that. I feel like it's gonna be the same thing. It's like I'll start randomly just making monkey noises or just start acting like a monkey. And like
you suddenly become like addicted to bananas.
Oh, these are so good.
Just out of nowhere.
Just start like crawling on the floor like a monkey.
Like go for a banana.
Yeah.
Just out of nowhere, and they keep on doing that and doing that and doing that until just your skin turns yellow from too many bananas.
Yeah.
Not sure that's how that works.
I think it is.
But then again, I've never
There's
eaten a
only one way to
banana in
find
like
out,
the
Kyle.
last 15 years, so
There's only one way to find out, Kyle.
I'm not going to be the one to eat bananas. I do not like bananas at all.
What?
I don't know. Get you a monkey organ in you, and who knows how you'll feel.
Maybe. But yeah, no, bananas, peanut butter, jelly.
Oh, don't even start this peanut butter story again. I will lose it. If anybody knows and is tuned into the buzz on any of the other days of the week, which, there is that opportunity. If you're interested, we have our shows on Facebook, YouTube, and Spotify and Apple Podcasts now. But Kyle on the Monday Buzz told the world he hates peanut butter.
What's wrong with you?
It's kind of crazy.
I'm an agent of chaos.
Literally.
Bring up any chance I get because it gets people so flustered.
Well, what's worse about the situation is it was also Lewis also hosting too that day, and Lewis also hates peanut butter.
That's bizarre. I don't know.
I could eat that just straight. I have eaten that just straight.
I cannot. I can't stand the taste or the smell of it. I'm lucky I can even look at it.
That's how I feel about pickles.
No.
Okay,
We're not getting on this pickle story again. No. It's pickles and peanut butter here at the Morning Buzz, apparently. I love pickles and peanut butter.
Me too.
Yeah.
I did share in our at the radio station, we have a little Discord where we chat about like things having to do with the radio station. and I found this TikTok, and it was of this restaurant or whatever serving. It was, I believe, a corn dog with pickle in it, and then peanut butter. You dip it in, or you drizzle it
No.
on. That's too much for me.
Yeah, that's
Now I'm all for trying new things and wacky food combinations. Even the pickle and corn dog, I don't think I could do.
I think I could do that one. I can't do the peanut butter then mixed in. That's too much. The peanut butter
and
mixed
pickle
with
sandwiches are fantastic.
you're gross then. That's gross.
wait. Now I kind of want to try that.
It's fantastic. I haven't had one in like a few years, but I did a whole presentation about it in high school.
Oh man.
Wait, Daji, you said you didn't like pickles, right?
No, and unfortunately, I was one of those ignorant people. Like, I think I learned that cucumbers and pickles
Yeah,
are
I was gonna
best
say, do you like
friends.
cucumbers? I mean,
I'm not the biggest fan. They're like all right, like in a salad, fine, with the snake on the side, you know. But but that's
the side
no.
of snake, please. Hold the snake. Forget it. Have the snake hold the cucumbers.
The snake is the cucumber,
Yes.
but at
No,
the same time, no.
honestly, I was the opposite for many years. I actually loved pickles but hated cucumbers. And everyone was like, it's the same thing. And I'm like, well, I don't feel the same way. So, like, I don't know what to tell you.
My grandfather actually made his own pickles once. I think he still does it. He just hasn't given any to me in a while. Gonna have to talk to him about that. But they were really good.
Wait, how did we get to this pickle and peanut butter? Oh, because we were talking about bananas. I don't
Yes. Sorry.
Wow, the degrees of
gotten a little off
separation.
track.
What a wild transition into that. And we're going back to that wild thing. But, you know, we're going to keep it wild. We're going to talk about some chimps in the Czech Republic next up. This is, of course, courtesy of Yahoo News. So it's another wild story. We have a lot of animal stories today. So, you know, as we've been, this is like a year and a month into the pandemic or so, we know Zoom pretty well, as we are all chatting on Zoom right now. And it's part of our everyday schedules now. So to make up for lack of interactions with visitors, this zoo decided it'd be a cool idea to have chimpanzees at two zoos now Zoom with each other. There are no mute button disasters as the sound is off, but there have already been plenty of interest in what distant cousins are up to since the project got underway last week. And that's all I have to say about that. What do you guys think?
I
How
don't
are
know.
the network connectivity issues?
They're good. They're good.
Okay.
No disasters with that. But basically, it's set up like, I'll share my screen so y'all can see. So it's basically set up. Let me get into full screen mode. So for anybody that's watching on Facebook or listening on airwaves, there is a giant like projection screen basically set up, and the chimps are just like watching it while they're playing around on their little like exhibit. They get to just interact with others. So what do we think about this?
So what's on the screen?
It's other chimps from another zoo.
Oh wow.
Something more entertaining.
Oh wait. So hold up. It's a Zoom call between two groups of chimps.
Yes.
Wow. That's interesting.
That's more interaction than I get in my classes.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Give them like monster trucks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like, do animals even like care about what goes on screens? Like, you know, I show my dog pictures of herself and she doesn't care. She's
Well,
like,
monkeys
what
are
are
like
these?
really intelligent.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you have to remember, we were just talking about this. Monkeys are like close to us. Like they're smarter than you think. Like in a lot
They're
of
one of the smartest animals.
Monkey.
Up there with dolphins, I think.
Yes, dolphins are really smart as well. And I think this is cool because they basically said, like I said earlier, it's because of the lack of interaction they've been receiving with humans. They're like, you know, this would be a cool way to see how they interact. And I think it's kind of a cool experiment, I guess, to see how they interact. You guys were talking about with the screen and everything. Like, do they want to try to like get to the screen at all? Like, do they want to like try to like break through to like
Oh yeah, I
blend
think
with
it's a
them.
window.
Yeah.
What I think is going to happen is there's going to be a long distance monkey relationship.
Oh no.
That's right.
And
I
then there's
see
gonna
this
be like
as
a love triangle between like
Oh yeah,
two of the monkeys on one side,
yeah.
and there's gonna be a fight.
That's what happens. It's going to be the female chimp. She's going to be at one zoo, and there's going to be like this big like hulky monkey who's all into her. But her true love is the other one that's thousands of
Yeah.
miles away in the other zoo. But
Aw.
right there.
It's a pandemic love story, of course.
And they
It
look
is.
at the screen and they just hold out their hands.
Aw.
You know, if that were a movie, I would actually watch it.
Yeah,
It
where's
sounds so cute.
where's
Guys, we're gonna write a
Yeah.
script now. We got it. We
Okay,
got the
let's
script.
get the rights.
Let's plan a session. We're gonna after the buzz. We're gonna just start writing the script
Yeah.
for this. Send it to Netflix. Call them up. We got it.
I'm actually very interested to see like how this goes, like experiment wise, because it reminds me of that. I don't know if it's an actual experiment, but that thing where like people will put mirrors in the forest to see how animals react to their own reflection. I feel like it's very similar to something like that. Like, do they get confused, like thinking it's a mirror, or do they know it's a camera? Like, there's a lot unknown. Like, without the ability to speak, we take for granted how much we don't know. At least to me, if that makes any sense. Like,
Yeah.
if animals could speak, I feel like we would know a lot more about them than we do, because everything can really only be up to speculation at this point, and maybe brain science. Like I said, I'm not a scientist either, so
Yeah, for sure. No, I agree. But well, as we are reaching 9:15, I think it's appropriate to move on to our next story that we have here, and this is a story from Kyle. Sorry, I said Kyle had the story earlier, but Kyle has the story now.
yes,
the Flavor Town, Kyle.
the Flavor Town. I saw this last night. I immediately know I had to put it in. But the celebrity chef and unofficial mayor of Flavor Town, I really couldn't find credentials. Maybe his term limits are up. I don't know. But Guy Fieri has raised over $25 million to aid restaurants in the wake of this pandemic. So, working with the National Restaurant Association, Fieri was able to raise money for restaurant staffs through the Restaurant Employee Relief Fund. Fieri told CBS News, quote, "You know, so many people work in the restaurant industry in multiple jobs, second jobs, single moms, single parents, students, retirees, and the restaurant industry is massively important to our communities. And so, when I saw this coming, I said," and this is him quoting himself within the quote, "we got to do something to get this money to these folks." End quote for everything I just said. Currently, over 15,000 individual donations have been made to the fund, providing restaurant workers across the country, as well as Puerto Rico, Guam, and the U.S. Virgin Islands, with $500 grants, which 90% of them said they would be using to pay their rents, mortgages, and utilities. This is not the first act of kindness Fieri has done, though, as in the fall with the California wildfires, he traveled to affected areas and helped provide food to thousands of responders working to combat the fires.
I love this, and I love good news, and I also love that we now have two visitors on this call. Former Morning Buzz producer Ryan Trick, and also a good former host of the Morning Buzz, George Jamagochin, who is also in this call. Thank you two for joining us here on the Vinylthon 2021 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair edition of the Morning Buzz. Hello, both of you.
Hi, what's happening?
George Jamgochin. Sorry, I gotta pause the buzz for about 10 seconds here. George Jamgochin and I used to host the buzz together way back in the day. It's been a minute.
There's a third guest.
We have a third guest also just entering. This is like all perfect timing, and we didn't plan this at all here on the Morning Buzz.
We planned everything. It's fine.
She's so cool.
Carefully calculated.
Our general manager, Annabella Poland, just stopped in the Zoom chat as well. Hello, Annabella. Good morning.
Good morning, you guys. I was looking at my Fitbit before I just logged on, and it said that I slept 2 hours and 51 minutes.
That's a good night's sleep. Yeah, that's a good night's sleep for me. I don't know. What you're complaining about. Is that why you're wearing sunglasses inside?
Nice.
It's not just to look cool.
It's also Vinylthon, so we just have to look like extra rock star.
Yeah, gotta look cool. That's why I got my hat
Gotta
on
look
backwards.
fire.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. Hey, George.
Hey, Annabelle, what's happening?
I love that this is like a reunion on the.
It is. It's like a reunion.
Yeah, but for the three of you that are just tuning in, if you guys missed the story a little bit, Kyle was just telling us about how Guy Fieri's Restaurant Employee Relief Fund has raised almost $25 million for struggling workers during the pandemic. So some good news on this Saturday morning.
Yeah, that's awesome. I remember we did an interview earlier on in the pandemic, and Annabelle, you can help me out with his name because it's the guy from Chopped.
Oh, Chef Eric Levine.
Yes, Chef Eric Levine. I remember in the interview he was also not raising money, but he was like donating
food
and stuff to like competitor restaurants.
Yeah,
because he was like, look, we're all going through this pandemic together. We're all restaurants. Yeah, we might be competitors, but we're all struggling, and I just thought that was I love restaurant workers. Ever since I was a kid, I'm friends with the manager at this restaurant down the street from me, and she's awesome, and it's just awesome to see even like an internet meme as he is, mayor of Flavortown, Guy Fieri. It's awesome to see him doing some more like wholesome stuff rather than just like eating a mountain of cheese fries on TV.
It's good to see people using their meme power for good.
Exactly.
Especially restaurant workers, I feel like during the pandemic, they're people that we kind of forget about that have also been working really hard, especially with the idea of you're coming into restaurants and they're exposing themselves constantly to people. So I think this is great that they're giving them the opportunity to get some money during like this trying time. For sure.
I didn't know that Guy Fieri, this doesn't sound bad. I didn't know he was like a good person.
George's face says it all for anyone that's not watching Facebook.
Yikes.
Like genuinely, Kenny was like, "Yeah, I didn't know that."
Yeah, I thought he
This
was
is
one
more
of the bad
surprising
ones.
to me than like the monkeys like on Zoom.
Do you have past experience that would lead you to believe that or
No,
make
I'm just
that
the villain
assumption?
today, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I feel like there was a period where people really like didn't like him. Well, I don't know. I don't know if it was didn't like him or they didn't take him seriously, but
I think it's like reality TV too. Like
I guess so.
Exactly.
People being on reality TV and like this. I always get asked like, "Oh my gosh, who was there? Anyone that was awful?" And I was like, generally speaking, someone that was awful was from reality TV. They've entitled to the very fast fame and not really trained sometimes to deal with the media. So, I think that aspect of it may have sent those signals. But he is a nice guy. We actually worked with him at SiriusXM so many times. He used to have a restaurant in Times Square, and he would go and do my friend Roland Campus show all the time, and all of his chef friends would do the same. So nice dude. It's nice to see him using his fame and voice for something so awesome.
Yeah,
those reality show families, like a certain K family, right, Annabella?
Ryan, you'll appreciate this. I kicked myself out of my own studio last night.
Oh no.
Because I was like, the callers were Kyle and Kenny, just to back up Ben.
Just to back up Ben. Yeah.
A duration of country music.
I'm telling you, check Ben's Venmo history. I think he was buying some calls in his favor. Just throwing that one out there.
And then he accused me. I'm like, hold up. Then he accused me of my kid calling to say goodnight as being a setup. And I was like, how dare you? Just going to sleep.
For anyone that doesn't know, last night Annabella and our assistant sports director Ben Petrick did a rock and country show.
No, it was a rock show. There was one country song.
Who would be the best rock or country? I think rock won by a long shot, but that was just part of our WMSC anniversary show, which was all yesterday, and today it's Vinylthon, so it's a jam-packed weekend of content. So
I know it's confusing people because they're like, oh, it was the anniversary was yesterday. Actually today. And we confuse people because we begin our celebrations so early so that we can fit all the hours. But in 1967, it was April 17th, they did a 27-hour broadcast to launch the radio station. And I actually have the sort of a newsletter, which made Kaya Masiak super happy. And I have a piece of the ribbon from the ribbon cutting ceremony. So the day is today, you guys, and we're doing 54 hours, which is double what they did at the time just to celebrate our 54th anniversary. But yeah, we were doing that, and we call it the Vinylversary because it's the first time in my time at Montclair State that Vinylthon and the anniversary fall on the same sort of like 3 days. Usually they do not. So you go for like that marathon and then you go for this marathon. I'm like, my goodness. I was so happy. And people were like, are you going to be able to make it because of COVID? I was like, the 1 year that it falls on the same day? Yeah, we'll be playing. So, but yeah, we were playing some rock classic tunes. And then Ben kept my crate to keep playing with Leslie and Caitlin. And they play a little bit more of pop, right? They started with Cyndi Lauper and had some.
I hope it was Girls Just Want to Have Fun.
Well, of course, because we went from us fighting on air to about country and rock to the girls having fun. So of course we did that. So, but it was fun. It was just like good to have someone, another pair of hands, right? Because and I'm glad that Amanda and Ryan actually have, each other in studio. You kind of have to be a little bit of an octopus when you have like the two turntables so far away from each other, and you have to still control the board.
Yeah,
so
for sure. We're Ryan Trick, shout out to him for actually helping during the buzz today. He's been spinning some records. We had some Led Zeppelin already. We had some Black Keys, and we're gonna spin some more soon. Because of course it's Vinylthon, so we can't not play vinyl on Vinylthon, of course. Annabella, if you agree.
You know what? I was gonna say, George, I look at you and I'm thinking Beatles. I do not have a Beatles. My mom did, and I loved the sound, right? But like I never actually invested. It's not that I play vinyl in my house all the time, but I do have my little collection. But I never, while crate digging, found an album. By the way, I don't think I ever paid full price for an album. So really? I always go and find my albums in these stores in Kingston, New York, which are like used albums. And usually around this time, they have a number of crates right outside their building with they're like anywhere between $5 and $10. And so that's a steal, right? Because it's vinyl. And I just check it out and see what they got. And sometimes I go to garage sales and people are selling them for $1. And I'm like, the vinyl today is 30 and plus. I don't think they realize the value sometimes, or they just don't have the space. I was talking to a lot of my friends and must be nice to have space for vinyl.
Yeah. I did notice in the background that there's a Beatles album on the turntable because I saw the Apple logo. There we go. That's what
there we are.
I of course need to do a shout out to George for joining us today. So I thought, what better way than play some Beatles? Am I right? Because I do have some Beatles records. And one of them I brought in today. So
let's see.
Of course, anybody that's watching, we got Abbey Road right here.
Perfect.
It's beautiful.
A classic record. So with that being the case, we are going to take a quick break here on the Morning Buzz here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, New Jersey. Stay tuned if you're interested in more news and vinyl. That was Come Together by the Beatles. And what a segue, because we have our next guest here with us today, Rob Quick, the founder of Vinylthon and College Radio Days. Thank you for joining us here this morning on the Morning Buzz here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, New Jersey. How are you today, Rob?
It's great to be here. What a great song. Beatles classic, absolutely fantastic. And the sun is out today from what I can see, although it's a bit bright when you haven't had much sleep. But happy Vinylthon to you. Normally I'll be there in person and I'll bring stuff like donuts and all sorts of goodies. I'm sorry that I don't have that.
It's all good. It's a pleasure just to have you on this Zoom call with us this morning to ring in Vinylthon 2021 here at our station and around the globe. And we also have our co-host Kenny Horn here today, who's also the assistant morning buzz producer, and Annabella Poland, our general manager at WMSC. So thank you.
Just trying to be a rock star here, Rob. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to.
I texted Rob and I said, I'm going to apologize for the dark circles that reached my knees this morning. Thank you. But no, it's good. Rob, you slept well. You were staying up. You were listening to some stations.
Yeah. So I said what happens is obviously we kicked off at midnight Vinylthon the event, and because it's international, they were going obviously in the Philippines and in Europe, Sweden and Greece, and just to hear what they're doing is so cool, because obviously sometimes you can't understand the language, right, that people are talking, but when they put on a vinyl record and it's like Elton John or Queen or something, like, yes, this is the one language I understand, the universal language of music, and you can tell that the passion, right, of when you put on a vinyl record, when you drop the needle down, there's still something incredibly powerful about that, and the music is still somehow more meaningful or more valuable and experienced because of that. So it's been really good. I've been listening to a lot of stations. I did go to bed around about 3 a.m. and then I got up a few minutes ago, but it's been a fantastic day and people are well into it.
Well, different from last year, right, Rob? Because last year people didn't have access to their stations, and so it was celebrated. I was actually like looking for turntables that connect via USB, because I was like, how would we get the records play on air? But I saw some students who were doing that right from home, but it was very different, and not as many stations were joining, just because the world was in a very different place then.
Yeah, and we're still not back to normality, but I think last year we were in kind of a bit of shock, actually, weren't we? And no one really a lot of stations didn't know what to do. We had a lot of stations drop out, and this year there's that feeling of optimism right now that we can figure this out, that we kind of know how to do this. So yeah, so even though we're still taking precautions, a lot of stations are still being very, very careful. There's a way of doing this. Vinylthon, Philippines called it last night, Vinylthon at home. So that all their DJs are at home doing the shows, and that's probably the safest way to do it, isn't it? So
yeah, I guess the technology is catching up with us, and it's doing all the things that we needed to do, including playing vinyl through a computer.
I think even though the technology is catching up to us, I think there's, like you were saying, Rob, there's something still special about playing vinyl. And as our one of our other people on this call today, George, was saying, like, the static in the record, he was mentioning that in the chat, like hearing the static in like the record we were just playing the Beatles, like that was so cool.
Okay. Where were all of you? Well, Kenny, where were you? You were actually on the phone. This is what Ben said about my records, right? It was Ben, Kyle, and Kenny all ganged up, and they're like, Luke Combs is great. He sounded so smooth, unlike the bag of Doritos that you just stepped on when you put in Led Zeppelin. I forget.
Excuse me?
That was my comment.
I'm highly offended.
Okay. I was like, I was at a loss for words. I was like, a bag of Doritos. I was like, hello? Obviously, Ben's Luke Combs album is newer, and my remaster Metallica album doesn't have a sign of that. But yeah, my AC/DC and the first two albums that I played were loved and listened to a lot. Thank you very much.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I have a lot of new records as well, but I do have a ton of like used records that I've picked up at record shops over the years and such. And I think the funniest thing actually of me picking up a record once was I found a Hotel California. So if anybody that doesn't know that's on this call, it's the Eagles, and I put it on my turntable, and I was very upset to hear that most of the beginning of Hotel California is scratched completely. So like it only comes in the guitar solo, and I was like, well, at least we got the guitar solo. But that's almost the beauty of that. Like, you could actually like wear out a record, you could scratch it, and I think we don't have that I mean, I guess it's a cool thing that we have this technology where that won't happen, but like there's something beauty about like, you know, finding the songs for the first time. You had to buy the whole album. You couldn't just buy one song or like download the one song. You had to listen to the entire album and
oh my
find what
gosh,
you like.
Remember those days, Rob, when we bought whole albums?
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, the physicality of it, I think, is its genius. And you're right. You take your chances, right, with the dollar bin, right? You know, when the dollar records, and they're well used, and the corners are like, and the circle, the wall circle, and everything is like, you look at the vinyl, you're like, well, for a dollar, is it worth having some format, some copy of this album, even if it's really, like, typically in the dollar bin you'll find Elton John, right? Some Elton John albums that are well, or Bee Gees, and you just say, you know, for a dollar, I'm going to just take my chances. And sometimes you put it on, and yeah, it's kind of unlistenable. But at the same time, you're like, well, for a dollar, what the heck? And also, it just proves that this is a well-loved artifact, a musical artifact. It's like, it's a manifestation of someone's like love, that they played it again and again and again and again. And you can't, as far as I know, you can't wear out an MP3 the same way, or stream. So it kind of like, the love is sort of imbued into it, because you can tell it's been well listened to. But it is annoying if you're genuinely trying to listen to the music. Yeah.
Kenny was annoyed.
And I feel like you could
No,
find...
I actually loved it. I love the static. I just like to make fun of people.
That was hilarious. But at the same time, I was gonna say, when I go shopping in these used vinyl shop or in garage sales and I see vinyls, I do pull the vinyl out and I try to assess whether this is going to be listenable or not really. And there was, so far so good. I think Toys in the Attic by Aerosmith I bought for $5, and there's one song that I can't play, but then the rest of the album is great. Right?
I think what's also cool about records and stuff is there's the cool artwork we were talking about earlier, but also the way that records could also look. So if anybody's watching on Facebook right now, they might see Ryan just pulled out one of my records that's pink. And we played another one earlier that was like bright blue. This was for the Pretty Woman soundtrack album, by the way. But it's bright pink. And that's so cool, because to me, like, you can't visually see anything when you get an album like on Spotify or something. You can't see the amazing artwork. You can't see like the beauty of the record. And I don't know, I think that's what's like awesome and cool about it as well. And like you said earlier, you could find some really interesting things if you just search through the bins. I found a $8 record of Woodstock. Found it for $8. Like the whole, like, yeah. And I was gonna bring it today, but a lot of it's live, so it wouldn't be great for on-air content, obviously.
See, I have a lot of live records, and there's a lot of cursing, and I don't feel like taking my chances and trying to be on top of the dump button, just waiting. And,
just waiting. Here we go.
Because just we are so trained that just to hear it, right, and dump it, it's not enough. We go through actually, it's almost like a shock, a body, like a body shock of like, we just heard this in the studio, and you just, no, I don't need that kind of stress. So no. I stay away from those two. What's your favorite album that you have?
My favorite album? Well, the problem is that my album collection is never complete. It's always like, the formula for having a perfect album collection is your current collection plus one. So I'm always buying like new albums and stuff. But even yesterday, I got 2 new vinyl albums. I got a Johnny Marr album called The Comet. The guy was obviously half of the Smiths with Morrissey. And then what I do is I do like, there's a record store near me that there's a dollar bin, right, for $1. And then there's a box outside of the store on the street. And it's kind of like, if it's raining, you know, sometimes you get a little bit, and those are the records that are so bad, the guy won't even charge $1 for. And I'm like, okay, really free music. So I go in there, and it's like really bad stuff. It's typically like, in that bin, you would find like, you know, musicals, the Sound of Musical stuff, or Rodgers and Hammerstein, and like, well, sort of totally used, knackered in copies that are like, you know, got mildew on, and various stains, and some of them are slightly sticky to the touch, of things that you like, what the heck is that? But once in a while, you find like something that like, well, hang on, this album is in pretty good condition. There's no way this album should be with these other albums because it's in really amazing condition. And I found some really great albums that way. I found some like I did find a Deacon Blue album, an album by a band called The Alarm, and they were kind of like definitely worth $1, but they shouldn't have been in that sad little box that was outside, being damaged by the elements, the wind, the rain. But in terms of my favorite album, it probably would have to be Paul McCartney's Ram. It's yellow. I'd say it's a limited edition, obviously gatefold, double album, and it's bright yellow. The vinyl. It's kind of like when you look at that, it kind of like it's incredible.
Well, you must have a big collection because you have a librarian on the back over there.
Yes, that's my dream behind me. Yeah. This is the thing. The problem you have is that when you start to really get a vinyl collection, two problems you have. Number one, you have the storage for that, and then number two, if you ever have to move, you're really in trouble because like these things weigh a ton. They weigh a ton. So it's just taking over. Vinyl's taking over my life, but at the same time, you genuinely can't beat that sort of thrill, that satisfying moment of when you get an album and you take it back home and you put it on the turntable. So it's still I haven't lost that sense of excitement,
I love that. I really do. And I think that's probably what prompted you to do all of this with Vinylthon, because it gets a new generation of people like us that like have been so like used to doing like streaming and things like that, and we get the chance to actually like spin a turntable, which is nuts because like I can't really ever say I've been able to do that in my time here at WMSC. This is the first time I've been able to do that, so it's awesome.
Yeah, that's what we found. It's what we found on for a lot of stations that participate, the DJs, the students. It's a very unusually hands-on experience. It's like, oh my gosh, this is like very precise work, dropping that needle down exactly. And I had one student who said, well, I get around that. I just play the first song on side A of every album, and then I'm perfectly fine every time. But it was always, the degree of precision to drop the needle down on the gap to get that particular track that was halfway through the side. But yeah, the hands-on experience is really kind of novel, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say that yesterday we have a DJ, and they shall not be named, who was completely and utterly confused when they came in to just see the studio, and then they saw these turntables, and I don't know what they thought or how they thought the vinyls were shifting themselves into place, but they were like, it was one of their first times coming back into studio, right? And they look at all of this equipment, and I explain, and they look terrified, and they're like, okay, yeah, I don't know if I can do this. But then I had Ben with me last night. He had never done a show like this, and he loved it. He loved it so much that he was supposed to go to sleep right after our show ended at at midnight, and he stayed till 4:37 in the morning with all of us, right? Because he was very happy spinning vinyl. It's a good experience. It's very nice.
And I like your Beatles Gold album behind you, by the way.
Thank you, George.
And Golden Slim as well.
Yeah, of course, you have to have those. Those came in from last year, and I was not in the office, so I just stuck them there so I wouldn't lose them. Like, you decided that you were going to do the College Radio Day documentary on vinyl. And like, that's also a lot of work because it doesn't fit like the 58, 59 minute, right? Like timetable. It's a lot shorter. Can you talk about the process of getting the College Radio Day 10-year documentary, 10 years of College Radio Day on vinyl?
Yeah, so first of all, normally, did you know that most vinyl records is 22 minutes per side, typically 20, because anything longer than that is going to, the quality of whatever's recorded, pressed on there is going to be just degrade. So most albums are 40 minutes maximum. So you're only going to get 20 minutes per side. So we knew we couldn't put the whole album on there, but they said if you had spoken word, you could maybe get 22 minutes per side. So that immediately got to 44. So it's 22 per side, 44 minutes total. So it was then editing down that for that time. Okay, so that was one process. Now, the other thing is that these vinyls are so popular now. The vinyl plants that produce the albums, the records, have such a backlog of jobs that it takes months to get anything produced. So in order to get this album done, we had to have everything done, I think 4.5 months before the release date. And then I found out the company that did it, they were based, I think, in Prague, right, in Europe. So I remember, we did the masters, we did the mastering, did everything, and I got this text, and then I signed up for text updates on my phone or email or whatever it was, and it said, your shipment has left Prague, and then it said your shipment has arrived in and I was going to say it's in Luxembourg, and now it's in Germany, and now it's arrived in was it the port of New York, and it was just amazing to hear. And eventually arrived this crate of these albums which weighed a ton, eventually arrived, and they've been like halfway around the world. And I opened it up, and I just thought to myself, that's the physical aspect of this has meant that this massive pallet, this huge crate of albums, have been physically shipped all these countries around the world. And if it was just an MP3, I could have just attached it in an email and hit click and send. But I opened it up and we put it down, and it was absolutely, it totally exceeded all expectations. And I know, Annabella, you're on there, and obviously WMSC is mentioned because you guys have been so pivotal in College Radio Day. But for me, it was such an amazing moment to have an album, a vinyl album that we had created.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's awesome. And it has this sort of smoky gray, cloudy gray color. And I think your intention, and can we say what your intention is for next Vinylthon?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we want to do it again in some format. I think what we've got to do is we've got to, and we're hoping that things are back to normal, much more so next year, right? They have to be. But we would like to Vinylthon to do an album as well. I mean, makes perfect sense, right? Total sense that for Vinylthon, we actually put together an album, whether it's music or the special programming that we do. Because you guys this year were phenomenal with our 1 hour Vinylthon radio special. The interviews that you got with Richie Kotzen and Miles Kennedy and Andrew Farris, you guys kind of like really delivered for everyone. One of the weirdest things last night was I was listening, was it Greece or Sweden? And I was listening to them, and they were playing the Vinylthon radio special with your interviews in. So that's the weird thing about this, in a cool way, that when you contribute, when you're in this Vinylthon radio special, it gets played a lot of places. So your voices are heard sort of around the world. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's super fun. We were listening on College Radio Day to the 24-hour marathon that is done and distributed by Live 365, and it was just fun to hear. Like, they would be all speaking, like you said, in different language, and then all of a sudden you would hear like Leno Kelly or your voice or Zeb Navarro's voice, and you would hear like WMSC, and you're like, oh my goodness, we are like in Philippines. And it's exciting. So
I think we're going to do that. I think that's one of the things that we're going to do, because we had so many people ask about, well, are you guys going to do like a 24-hour thing like you do for College Radio Day? And it now makes sense to do that, to do like the Vinylthon.
Right, as it moves. Yeah.
Right. And so I think we're going to do that. I think next year that also is part of the plan, that we're actually going to do that. So it's just so exciting. It's just, and again, I know that it's been tough because everyone's been at home, and not a lot of people have been able to go into the studio as normal, but hopefully by next year we should be in a much better place.
From your mouth to God's ears, because this 2 week, aren't we on the 2 week mark right now, or are we coming up on the 2 weeks when, like, we flatten the curve and life will be back to normal?
I like I said, bloody hope so. I can say.
It's been a long 2 weeks. It's been the longest 2 weeks of my life then. I mean, I think it's been all the longest 2 weeks of everyone's life.
What I really miss is coming to see you guys, and then afterward we will go visit the Red Hawk Diner.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have, the whole thing, bacon, eggs, hash browns. I mean, those kind of things.
Right. Like just coming together for College Radio Day or Vinylthon, and then getting some food.
And then hanging with the Keith Strudler.
That's right.
Talking music and stuff, and you got some pretty hip people working at Montclair State. I gotta tell you.
We wear sunglasses in the morning on Saturdays.
Yes. Too bad it's not night anymore. I could have made the joke that said, "I wear my sunglasses at night." Get some Corey Hart in here, and then that would have been a great song to add. But too bad it's not night anymore, and it is the morning buzz. Haha, that was a really bad segue. But thank you, Rob, for joining us this morning here on Vinylthon 2021 on the Morning Buzz. We really appreciate it, and we appreciate all you do for Vinylthon and College Radio Day as well. So thank you.
Well, thank you and congratulations, 54 years. I know it's your Vinyl-versary. That 54-year is amazing, and 54-hour broadcast is amazing, but slightly crazy. But I still salute you for doing that, and I hope at the end you can catch up on all that sleep.
Thank you. So we hope so. We're going right from here to focus racial justice. So we'll sleep when we go to better places. Thanks,
Cheers,
Rob.
everyone. Thanks, guys.
Rob.
Cheers.
Hi, Rob.
And so we want to thank Rob for coming by once again. But to wrap up the show, we got one last story, and I think one of our hosts, Kyle, might want to share it. Kyle?
I guess so. I guess this one falls on me.
Oh, I thought it was your story.
Not entirely. I just found the link for it.
Daji, then? I think it was Daji.
Daji is the one who recommended it.
Well, either one of you guys could introduce the story, because I think it's a great music-oriented story, and it kind of goes along with a story that was talked about on the Buzz a few weeks ago on the Tuesday edition of the Morning Buzz, where a person swallowed an AirPod, and this time it's a puppy. Daji, you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So a puppy swallowed their owner's AirPods, and apparently this happened during Easter weekend. The puppy the owner happened to drop her AirPods, and the puppy just ate the whole thing. Unfortunately, they had to go to the ER immediately, and after the surgery they took out the AirPods, and apparently the AirPods still work. So that in itself is pretty bizarre and a miracle. And the puppy's doing fine now. But yeah.
They were in the case.
They were, but then they were in the body. Think about it. It goes through all of your organs and everything, and it's still working.
And the way the article described it was there wasn't a bite mark or a scratch on it. The dog ate the thing whole.
Yeah.
I mean, how big
That's so
is
metal.
How big is the
the
trachea?
Got some.
I don't know.
Oh,
It definitely depends on the size of the dog.
The dog was a golden retriever.
Okay.
I was hoping.
Yeah, it was pretty old.
That'd be funny.
And I mean, at least this dog one makes a little more sense, because a dog just sees an item and they're like, cool, I'm gonna chew on it, I'm gonna eat it, whatever. But when we were doing a human one a few weeks ago on the Buzz, and the person had it in their ear and they fell asleep and they swallowed it while they were sleeping.
Oh no. No, I'm never doing
Were they sleeping on their side? Or
we don't know. We had a whole debate about it, because we were trying to figure out how does even look that way. If you're falling asleep, it just would fall out of your ear. How would it go to your mouth? That makes no sense.
And you swallow it whole by
Depends on how much you turn in your sleep.
I'm never doing that again.
Or if they're vacuuming in their dream or something with their mouths, that could also be it.
So at least in this way, the dog one makes more sense to me.
Yeah.
They were like, it's a toy, no big deal. The human, I mean, again, do you ever eat a piece of bread that is just slightly too big as it goes through your passages, right? And it hurts?
Yeah.
Swallow an AirPod and not choke.
I have a tendency to choke just drinking water. It's a problem.
As he drinks water.
Yeah. It's a dangerous game.
Every sip is just a gamble, a dice roll.
Exactly.
Oh, goodness.
I guess the case is really good, isn't it?
I mean, but like I hope that like they took advantage of like the earbud being in the body and just like spinning some awesome tunes and like
Yeah.
And
I'm
how
not
did
sure
they?
that was at
manifest
the
the vibes
forefront
on
of
the
their
inside.
mind.
I wonder if the owner saw this whole thing happen, or if they had to play any sounds to find out the.
According to
Wait,
the
could you
article,
imagine if you're like, where are my earpods? And you try to like connect to them and you start playing some music and you just hear it coming out of the dog. Like,
luckily it happened all like instantaneously. Like the article says the owner saw it happen. Well, she didn't see the actual like
I was gonna say
eating
if she saw
of
it
the.
happen, like stab her.
yeah, maybe do something.
Well, the problem is the dog ate it whole, like just swoop, it's gone. But she acted like she immediately noticed that the dog ate them and immediately took her to the vet, which was really good, and that's why.
And the dog looked at her. The dog's name is Jimmy. So he looked at her like with a face like, oh, this is not a treat.
Here's the first problem. The dog's named Jimmy. Who names a dog Jimmy?
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't think we should be getting caught up on the semantics of pet names. I mean, it's Jimmy. Why wouldn't you name a dog Jimmy?
I think the best perspective that we can put on this story though is, I mean, like, come on, portable Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
You go for a walk, turn the volume up enough. Every time your dog barks, it's like
it'll follow you around.
Music comes out. Yeah,
for sure.
That'd be so nice.
Yeah. Speaker with legs. Best part of the story.
But that is it here on the Morning Buzz, our 2-hour special for Vinylthon 2021. Obviously, we have more content for Vinylthon 2021 coming throughout the rest of the day. So if you're interested, check out our social media pages to see what the schedule is for the rest of the day. But here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, New Jersey, we must say goodbye from the Morning Buzz. And right now, Ryan Trick, who's in studio. Ryan, do you want to introduce the song we're going to play out on?
Absolutely. This is off of probably one of my favorite records, Frank Turner record, Love Iron Song. Here is Photosynthesis.